Oh no, no man, nothing back at home. Dragoons are actually going to be able to block the ramp, and probes coming off the line to engage those vultures. Others observers don't see any observers, so the Dragoon gets melted, and this time around the vulture's going to accomplish just a little bit more. Dragoons be forced back home, and I gotta love this play for sKyHigh. Gotta love this play from sKyHigh. Basically, the only thing he's doing is keeping that army away from his third. That is the simplest thing ever. That is the only thing he's doing. He's set up a nice defense, has some turrets because he knows the drop is the riskiest thing that could happen to him right now. Has some tanks there as well. Knows that Shuttle's out there. And going out there, gonna harass that third coming up for Han. Shell's gonna get through here, but there are even more turrets inside the main. He's gonna be able to drop his payload. Both DTs get down. So they're going to pick off one turret, and now they're going to go. There is a scan, though. They're going to have to go and pick as many SCVs off as they possibly can. Dragoons are going to go in here and save the 3 o'clock base, make sure nothing happens there. DTs inside the main, though, are not going to be a threat for too long. Yeah, get picked off with maybe, taking out 1-2 maybe CVs. It's not a very successful harassment. A pretty bad sacrificing your shuttle and 2 DTs for a couple of SCVs on a turret. Yeah, game's really just not going for in Han's favor. sKyHigh has done a great job with those vultures. He's gone fairly heavy, basically harassed, been annoying, and rather than, focusing too heavily, he's done some beautiful harass, but the main purpose of it is not the actual, I feel the main purpose of the attacks is not actual economic harassment, but just controlling where Han's army is. No, first of all, it gives him scouting information. It lets him harass, do a little bit of economic damage, or even a lot of economic damage, but also it lets him control the Protoss army. The Protoss army is in one ball, and that ball has to stay together, especially when there are vulture threats running all over the place. And the army can't stay in one place at all times. Finally, there seem to be enough forces there for Han to keep an army at different amount of places. It has some Dragoons there, some Dragoons here. It's going to be hard to consolidate once a push comes his way. But all sKyHigh is doing is getting himself ready for a strong push, and that he might delay this longer. As long as he doesn't get any heavy recalls on him, as long as he prevents recalls from coming in, he's going to be in a good position right now, readying for inevitable recalls, putting down mines, putting down extra turrets, making sure he won't be too vulnerable when the recall finally comes in. And once the recall does come in, if he's ready for it, if he reacts to it well, if he basically makes the recall worthless, that's going to be it. That's going to be the last nail in the coffin, because that initial recall that's going to come out, might come out from Han. That's going to be so important, because if that recall does not do the damage it needs to do, that's going to be it. That's going to be the game right there, because right now it's 3 base on 3 base. Han getting his 4th going, but he's not in a good position. Forge going up, so upgrades are going to be going just now. I don't think he's had a Forge this entire time. On the opposite side, I'm pretty sure the upgrades have been going down, at least for some time now. Yeah, weapons upgrades. So from the looks of things, it does seem sKyHigh is readying himself for an eventual 2-1 push. He's taking it very calmly. He already has a significant presence outside of his own natural. And, that's what I love. That's what you gotta love about Terrans. They made Oddeye a little bit more buildable around the middle. So, he can slow push this if he really wants to. But he's just done a beautiful job of harassing and controlling the game and the map with those vultures. He's planted mines down, forced those Dragoons to run back so they can't really, do any sort of aggressive maneuvers. And he can stay on those 3 bases for a significant amount of time without worrying about Han putting up a 4th. Just go out there, know what's coming up, harass, do a little bit of damage, be annoying with those vultures. Might even go might even go for some drops, but probably gonna have some science missiles coming out to counteract those arbors coming up. But yeah, even little vulture drops would be annoying. But I just don't think that sKyHigh really needs to go for any heavy economic harassment at this point. Just need to get himself ready. Get those science missiles out there to assist him in his push, get those upgrades, and then just push. Han, smartly though, is expanding at the inside 6, and I like this decision simply because he needs a large army, and he needs it now. The only way to do that is to get his economy. I mean, he's gonna have his fourth, yeah. I think his 4th is running smooth. He's gonna have his 5th up, and if his 5th gets to run fully without any harassment, sKyHigh might need to answer that somehow. Picking up maybe the 12 o'clock, the 12:30 or so position. Maybe even going as to be so audacious as to go for the upper right-hand corner, picking up the double gas. That'll be significant. But right now it seems like there is going to be a recall coming in. There are tanks that are going to spot this. There are turrets all over the place. Is this Arbiter going to get inside? There are a lot of mines. I'm not quite sure how successful this is going to be. There are a lot of mines. SCVs coming off the line. A bunch of SCVs coming off the line are being forced. So where is it? Is there going to be No, okay, nothing. No recall right now. Just flying around, probably thinking about what he's gonna do. Not doing anything. It's interesting. Arbiter just flying around inside the main, forcing a bunch of SCVs off the line. Like, hey, my job's done. I forced a control group of SCVs off the line. My job's done. There's nothing to do. Also has an Arbiter ready to recall. Probably knows there's a bunch of mines. Finally does recall. Oh! 10 goons. 9, or is that 10? 9 or 10 goons. I think that's 10 goons. God blam. Yep. So as I said earlier, yeah, Han just, oh, why did I do that? You were fine, man. You did not have to. Oh, man. You should have known there were all those mines there. Yeah, sKyHigh just absolutely ready, right on top of things. That was a significant part of army that's needed. So Han now going for a desperation to move. I think sKyHigh should be ready for this. Has a lot of vultures at the front. Arbiters are assisting, but there's enough. I think I saw a Science Vessel there as well. More Dragoons coming in from the back. There are turrets in place. Scan's going to be coming off very soon. Don't see any Science Vessels, so the vultures going to have to be forced to back off. Don't see any Science Vessels, oddly enough. But sKyHigh does have reinforcements coming in from the left side, so he has forces at the south and the north against the Dragoons. Going to be able to push it back for now. I'm actually accomplishing decent enough, more of a positioning game, basically making sure that sKyHigh cannot safely pick up his 4th to the right side of his 3rd, threatening that. So he does have his 5th that's coming out, and his 6th, wow, the lower left hand. So I actually really like what Han's doing here. He's now kind of forcing sKyHigh to move around. sKyHigh still doesn't have weapons 2 up, but I think Han actually might only have weapons 1 upgrades at this point. Still doesn't have the army presence he really needs. Has some arbiters, and that harassment at that main was just horrible. They're probably going for another one, maybe the natural this time. Not quite sure. We're going to see what he does. There are Science Vessels out there. EMP, 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 EMP. Where was the EMP? Where was the EMP? No EMP. Where's the EMP? Go the EMP, EMP. Oh my god, there's not going to be any EMP, is there? Recall? EMP? Something? Okay, just a recall. Not as many mines this time. Better positioning, so this time around, Han's going to get something done. Some SCVs being killed, so a lot more down, a lot more army there. Arbiter also to support, so this time around, sKyHigh not quite ready to this. Oh, he's going to lose both of his armories. That's bad, but meanwhile, sKyHigh just, you know what, never mind. All my army, gonna go out, raise some buildings, picks off. The 4th could even move down to the 3rd. I honestly feel that the lower left-hand position on the map is where he wants to go. That's where, yeah, did get that 2-1 before he lost his armories, so he is going to be able to do some significant amount of damage. Has the advantage in weapons upgrades and armor upgrades. Has a significant force. I just don't. Has Science Vessel as well to support. I just don't think Han, despite the fact that he's doing this damage, this is going to be. There's some damage. The army is taken down. That's something. Not too much taken down. Some economy from the SCV. So sKyHigh only mining off 2. I think he actually has a 3rd now up. But sKyHigh just moving straight to the natural expo. He knows he can finish this game with that. If he manages to run in along the gateways, that's going to be GG right there. Could have gone for the low left-hand bases, but I think that would have just made the game go on for a little bit longer. So actually I understand this move. He wants to finish this off right now. He doesn't want the game to move on longer because there is still a danger of Han actually macroing up and letting those 2 new bases that double gas also affect him. Right now, Han just has a bunch of forces back home near his gateways, just trying to get some forces up there, putting cannons and gateways and such all over the map. And the low weapon position actually has enough space to put some gateways down and get some forces going. No mineral mining at that 3rd, interestingly enough. Han has no mineral mining at the 3rd o'clock. Wonder what happened to his probes there. Some tanks here just sieging up that ramp, not even bothering to go up too far, and just I don't see any forces for Han to do much of anything. It just seems like sKyHigh has too much of amount of forces. He's been allowed to macro up for too long without losing anything. He's also has siege tanks sieging the 3rd, sieging off, and yeah, finally has forces at the lower lifetime positions, a bunch of vultures and Science Vessels, picking off everything. They won't even pick off the Nexus necessarily, but they'll still pick off the vultures, and GG finally from Han. Getting disappointingly knocked off. 2 somewhat rather below mediocre, actually. Below average performances by Han, I gotta say. Did make some smarter choices this time around. That 2nd recall was decent, although not taking out any production in the end, really not the best, or supply for that matter. That 1st recall really, despite the fact that he went for those expansions, the 1st recall really was a bad move by him. And once sKyHigh had consolidated his position, he just managed to push out with that 2-1 army and just kill everything. So beautiful play from him. He's going to move on to the final match and get a rematch against the guy who beat him the first time around. GG guys, I hope you enjoyed.